Okay, everyone, we're going to play one more NES game, and that is Hollywood Squares. See how it goes. According to experts, in what decade did the automobile become the chief means of passenger transportation in the U.S.? About a week after the potholes invented, the 1920s, I agree. According to scientists, originally it came from ultraviolet rays mixing with ammonia, nitrogen, methane, and water vapor to form a primordial liquid. What do we call it today? Cup of soup. The Earth. You fool! Meat that hasn't been properly covered and left in the freezer may get white patches on the surface known as freezer burns. Is it still safe to serve to guests? Sure, just pass it off as fish. No, it is. Why does a chameleon change color? Keep up with the designers this season in response to light or temperature changes. You fool! I've had a secret square, which was a trip to Australia. We all know about George Washington's famous wooden teeth, but true or false, his dentist was credited with inventing the first dentist drill. He actually had two dentists, Black and Decker. False. True. A survey of retailing organizations show that 42% of all goods stolen from stores are taken by whom? People with the largest shopping bags? Employees. You fool! In the Bible, when Ruth said, "Whither thou goest, I will go," who was she talking to? Her husband, her rabbi, or her mother-in-law? Her hairdresser, her mother-in-law. Lie on your back, elevate your feet, and place a wine bottle cork between your upper and lower teeth. According to Glamour magazine, why would someone do this? They're too lazy to look for a corkscrew. To relieve tension and relaxes jaw and face muscles. According to Parents magazine, children who were subjected to this kind of light had more cavities, more absences from school, and were more misbehaved. What kind of light? Budweiser, incandescent light, fluorescent light. True or false? Swedish scientists have come up with a birth control device that goes in the nose. I know the Swedes are kinky, but that's ridiculous. True. Who is the personality most closely associated with Poor Richard's Almanac? Pat Nixon? Benjamin Franklin. I agree. President John Adams and his wife Abigail did it longer than any other presidential couple. What? Avoided a scandal. Stayed married longer. According to the book Money Talks, how much is Richard Nixon's signature worth? $50, $500, or $5,000? Do you mean on one of his 18 missing blank checks? $50, I agree. According to the book, when your parents grow old, if your 80-year-old mother still scrubs the kitchen floor each day, should you try and get her to stop? Now she's doing a good job. No. Routine helps the elderly feel safe and secure. You fool! Do most Italian women say they are more romantic than their husbands? Yes, the same women also said the band just call off next Tuesday. No. Alright. Key 4, car 1. We have to keep going. Rob. True or false? According to the National Opinion Research Center, 1 out of every 3 Americans now claims to be clairvoyant. Which U.S. city consumes the most prune juice per capita? Running Wild, Wyoming. Miami, Florida. You fool! According to USA Today, in the first half of 1986 alone, it happened more than 39,000 times in New York City. What? A guy from Des Moines bought the Brooklyn Bridge. A car was stolen. According to Working Mother magazine, if your child is 4 years old and still sucking his thumb, should you be concerned? Only if he's in a bowling tournament. Yes. True or false? The monkey wrench was named for its inventor, Charles Monkey. I thought it was Irving Wrench. False. True. Big Girl, Big Boy, Tiny Tim, and Basket King are just some of the better known what? Adult film stars. Types of tomatoes. You fool! At a very formal dinner, what do you use the little fork for? Goosing the hostess. It's for the fish. Oysters, lobsters, or just salsa. I agree. According to the World Book, if you were a barber, could you give a whale a haircut? Yes, if he waits his turn and brings his own hair tonic. No. Yes, whales do actually have little hair on their heads. 11% of all Americans said it was the greatest invention of all time. What is it? The waterbed? The telephone? The wheel? According to legend, Lady Godiva said she would ride naked down the streets of Coventry if the mayor would lower taxes. Did he? Yes, but during her ride, interest went up. According to the Wall Street Journal, you can now buy artificial cheese. What's the main advantage of artificial over natural cheese? It gives you only artificial gas. Better nutritional value, no cost less. In China, when did your host know that you have had enough to eat? When rice starts coming out of your ears, you lay your chopsticks across the plate. True or false? According to the World Book, at the Colosseum in ancient Rome, winning gladiators often participated in a game remarkably similar to the dating game. It was called Kiss by Chariot. According to a syndicated medical columnist, what is it about doctors that bothers people the most? Cold hands. High prices. Insensitivity. Most people find doctors uncaring. In the Bible, who is described as just a man but perfect in his generation? He walked with God. God's caddy. Noah. According to a study of divorce in many countries over a 35-year period, most people divorce in the 4th year of marriage. Why? Honeymoon is finally paid for. It's about the time it takes to raise a child through infancy. And I can go to the car again. I'm on part 2. No. Keep going. Deceptions, Transformers, Wrinkles, and Mad Balls are all currently what? Decepticons, I mean. Phyllis Diller's body parts. Computers. Toys for kids. According to a study at Emory University, what is the normal amount of hairs that a woman should lose daily? As many gray ones as she can pull out. 100. You fool! Sarah Ferguson just spent 4 weeks studying so she could do it by herself, and Prince Andrew was delighted. What did she do? She made instant coffee, flew solo in an airplane. I agree. When is the best time to apply an antiperspirant? After you finish dessert. Before you go to sleep. You fool! Immediately after showering. According to the World Book, what is the only important difference between a peach and a nectarine? Spelling. Nectarines are larger. Skin. Which of the following is not a real animal? An aardvark, an aardbird, or an aardwolf? This is a very aard question. An aardwolf. You fool! Who was it who uttered the famous words, "These are the times that try men's souls"? Give me a clue. Did he work at the White House? Thomas Paine and Rector of the I agree. This legendary comedian was known for his somber, straight-faced look and his distinctive pork pie hat. What was his name? Richard Nixon. Buster Keaton. The Ladies' Home Journal says that if your teenage daughter is a slob and her room is always a mess, you should just close the door and ignore the disaster. True or false? Best thing is not to tell her when you move. True. In the comics, who is Charlie Brown's little sister? Ellen Gurley Brown? Sally. If your son was a Rhodes Scholar, where would he go to study? The Department of Road Maintenance at any university of his choice. Oxford University, England. According to Red Book, there are several signals that could warn you of a marriage in trouble. The first is when you no longer do what together? Live together? Laugh together. Where did Baroque sculpture first appear? At my house. We found the pieces in the kids' room. In Spain. In Rome. The art form first appeared there in the late 1500s. Finish this popular rhyme. Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. Thursday's child is about to go. We'll never know. You fool! According to hints from Heloise, is it ever a good idea to pour cola on the battery of your Rolls Royce? Only if it's a vintage year for cola nuts. No, it will prevent the battery's charging. Yes, it will remove the kernels. We know that a centaur is part horse and part man. Which part is like a horse? The good part. The head. You fool! According to etiquette expert Elizabeth Post, what's the earliest one should leave a dinner party? As soon as the meal is settled in your throat. As soon as dessert has been served. You should not leave until 1 hour after dinner is over. According to Los Angeles Times, in what historic event did the expression "may the best man win" come from? The original Price is Right. Roman gladiator days. Ancient Olympic games. Let's go for part 3. He was a popular figure in the early days of TV in his blonde curls and pink tights. Who was he? I think it was either Merv Griffin or Bishop Sheen, Pinky Lee, or George the Wrestler. Who was the first person to walk in space? Edward White, Alexei Leonov, or Yuri Gagarin? Wasn't it Dr. Timothy Leary? Yuri Gagarin. Where do they answer the phone by saying pronto? Dry cleaning. Spain. Italy. What well-known thing comes to mind when you hear the phrase plop, plop, fizz, fizz? A leaky faucet? Alka-Seltzer is one of their classic advertising slogans. You fool! According to a study at Wellesley College, is it a good idea to give your child a reward to get him to be creative? $1 million would help toward the first novel, I expect. Yes. No. Y'all, Dingy, and Skip are all what? Cousins of Muammar Gaddafi. Small boats. You fool! Can you get lead poisoning for being pricked with a pencil? Only if the pencil is shot out of Clint Eastwood's .357 Magnum. No. True or false? The average American nun is over 60 years old. False. They just look like they're over 60. True. According to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, besides grinning all the time, the Cheshire Cat could do something else that made him unique. What? He could empty his own litter box. Fly. Vanish at will. According to Fluger Taxidermy in Hollandale, Florida, where sport fishing is king, what is the most popular fish to mount and stuff? Filter fish? Sailfish. You fool! Island Martinique is where According to the Wall Street Journal, are there any game shows on Soviet television? Sure, there's Wheel of Misfortune and then, of course, Jeopardy. Yes. At Mardi Gras time in New Orleans, Fat Tuesday is always the day before what? The day before you have to leave the front seat of your car out. Ash Wednesday. Where is Mona Lisa hanging out these days? Last time I saw her, she was with Ivan Lendl and Monte Carlo. Paris. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are the 4 men who wrote what? Send letters to Chuck Woolery. The Sermon on the Mount. Gospel. True or false? There's a new magazine on the market designed specifically to be read while you're in the bathroom. Yeah, I've heard about that. It comes in a roll. According to Hollywood Close-Up, this year 68% of all moviegoers walked up to the concession stand and proudly said, "I'll take some of that." What? Overpriced, watered-down Diet Pepsi. Candy. True or false? Mistletoe is actually a parasite whose berries may be poisonous to people. Only if your wife catches you under it with a dynamite-looking redhead. In 1847, an English company called Fry & Sons combined fermented cocoa beans with sugar and made the first what? First drunk. Chocolate bar. If you lose weight too fast, what's likely to happen to your hair? It will get thinner too. It will lose its curl. Some of it will fall out. There are extremely bloodthirsty traveling groups that have been known to tear the flesh off skeletons of animal and people in just a few minutes. What are they? Divorce lawyers. Warrior ants. You fool! Let's go for part 4. Nope, we know which car we're going for. We're gonna go for the last car. Why do pigeons bob their heads around when they walk? They can dance better than they fly. It helps keep their balance. I agree. According to the book Childhood Friendships, what is the main reason children tell lies? To prepare for a career in politics. To make their wishes and fantasies come true. You fool! Egyptian mummies were found wearing them. The ancient Greeks and Romans wore them. So did the French in the 17th century, who powdered theirs. What were they all wearing? Same underwear for a week. Stockings. Big. According to LA Magazine, what is the #1 cause of potholes on freeways and highways? They're put there by tire manufacturers. Bad weather. Trucks. According to Greek mythology, Zeus gave it to her, but who actually opened Pandora's box? The IRS. Her husband, Epimetheus, and Greek. According to a Notre Dame University study, the most popular activities at U.S. Catholic churches are Mass and bingo. What ranks third? The procrastination of confession, fundraising fairs, religious education. According to the American Optometric Association, the minute that you see a dress or suit that you like, what do the pupils of your eyes do? They look at my credit card. They get smaller. They dilate. You suspect that your husband is a somniloquist. What was your first clue? That he could pronounce it? A somniloquist talks in his sleep. You fool! When Moses went up to the mountain, he brought back the 10 Commandments. What did Muhammad bring him when he went to the mountain? The new ski clothes at the top of the Mecca Hilton. The Quran, the Holy Book of Islam. More and more dentists are heating their Novocaine. Why? Because it causes you more pain. It lasts longer. It will hurt less before injection. According to sailors' folklore, where is Davy Jones's locker? You can't miss it. It's the one with the old sweat socks. On any warship, bottom of the sea. Can you teach a pig to fetch? Yes, but like Kermit's pipe and slippers. No. You fool! What is the main thing that distinguishes vultures from other large birds of prey? Vultures operate primarily in Hollywood. Vultures are bald, they have no hair on their head. Miss Roach's 5th grade social studies class in Springfield recently graded President Reagan and sent him the report card. He only got 1 A. For what? Arms sales. Trust. What famous thing ran all the way from St. Joseph, Missouri to Sacramento, California? Southern Winter's nylons. The Santa Fe Trail. Pony Express. When can you tell that a young duckling has finally matured? When it learns to keep its beak shut at meetings, it gets new feathers. This tip from the pages of Good Housekeeping magazine. You are more likely to experience indigestion and heartburn if you eat a heavy meal within 2 to 3 hours of what? Slide down an elevator shaft, going to bed, I agree. Go in that car. Part 5. Here's the car. And how much did we win overall? $23,500.